Hi everybody, it is Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. Today's just going to be a very chill, easy video. This is just my go-to base routine for the summertime as somebody with combination oily / dry skin. I also have some hyperpigmentation, some on my forehead, on the sides of my faces, on my chin. I'm very prone to hyperpigmentation and dark spots. So if you guys are as well and have trouble covering up, just go ahead and keep on watching and I'll give you guys a little bit of insight. Not everything is going to work for everybody, but hopefully the steps that I take to control or cover my dark marks is something that can help you. I like to look very polished and presentable, but also on the sexy side because, you know, I'm grown, I want to feel grown. So this is going to be kind of like that. I tend to do my makeup like this almost every day, or whenever I do my makeup. Slightly darker eyes with very pretty neutral simple base. Now this isn't your typical no makeup routine or very lightweight makeup. Now I do like to do full beat, full glam when I go somewhere, but my everyday makeup is not just concealer, a little bit of blush and go. I do still put on some makeup just because I think my skin looks better that way. I do have dark marks, as I said previously, and I like to cover them up, and covering them up you need to add product. I am using the new MAC color correctors. This is in the shade Ochre. I really enjoy this color because I do have an olive undertone, and I find that peachy or orange color correctors tend to change the color of the products when they go on top, and I don't like looking orange. Now this is not an everybody problem, this is just a me problem. If you guys like your peach and orange color correctors, then go ahead and keep on using them, but as someone with an olive undertone, I really enjoy this kind of mustard yellow shade, still on the deeper side to cover that darkness and that purple from my under eyes or my hyperpigmentation, but also not going to change the complexion products I'm popping on top. I did let the color corrector sit just for probably like 45 seconds to a minute, and I'm just going to lightly tap it out. This is the concealer brush number 57 from the Sephora Pro brush line. Sephora Pro brushes are so good. At first I thought they were a little pricey, and then I got one and it was so good I had to get another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one, and I can't stop using them. They are so worth the $30, and they last forever. So if you guys have been on the fence about the Sephora Pro brush line, they are so good and I highly recommend. Now my hyperpigmentation isn't super bad. It's very manageable, so I don't need much product at all, and I don't need to set it down. If you do have more stubborn hyperpigmentation, then I do recommend lightly dusting it with some translucent setting powder. So today I'm gonna go in with the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. Now I want it very lightly on my face, so I'm tapping it all into my brush and then tapping that onto my skin. As you can see, I still have some hyperpigmentation peeking through, but it's not crazy bad, and a little bit of hyperpigmentation peeking through, it's okay for every day. Now if I do my full glam, then I want it all covered. This literally makes me feel like I have a filter on my face. It's so good. Now I do get the mini because the full size is like, what, $60–70, and I'm not, no, I don't put a ton of product on my forehead just because I will be putting concealer and bronzer on, but whatever I do have left on my hand, I'll just run it across just so everything's cohesive and it doesn't look like I'm missing something on my forehead. Okay, so I've been using this Too Faced bronzer and it is so good. I will never stop using it. However, the Rhode bronzers just came out and I so want to try it. They just look so good. This Too Faced Chocolate Soleil and Chocolate Caramel, I love putting it on the back of my hand. Now I do get very tan in the summer, so the shade might not work for me soon, but for now, she does her thing. This is also very easy to control once you add it to the back of your hand, so if you're a beginner, adding products to the back of your hand controls how much you put on your face and how easy it is to blend out. And don't forget to blend into your hairline. You do not want your forehead looking beautiful and bronze, and your hairline just looking absolutely crazy. Okay, for blush, I alternate between two, or I'll do both at the same time. I really love a really beigey, natural brown pinky blush. So this NARS blush in Double Dare I've been using a lot, as well as the MAC Glow Play blush in Ginger Luck. She is beat up. Look at that. I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's very, very natural. Natural blushes, you also tend to be able to get away with adding a lot more. It's very natural. I want my eyes to pop. I want my lip combo to pop. And I want to just look very put together, very feminine, very moody, very sexy. So that's why I like to go in with a beigey blush. Next up, concealer. I absolutely adore these concealers, and I haven't heard very many people talk about them. But these Charlotte Tilbury, this is a new one. This is the Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer. Now, when I tell you this blurs, it blurs. It is so good, and it's super, super full coverage. It's on the thicker side. If you don't like thick concealers, then you might not like it. Some of the shades do kind of turn orangey on me. No, this is like 1 or 2 shades lighter than my skin tone. So I like to put it underneath my eyes. And then I'm going to go in with the shade 10.510 in these areas. Now I'm going to take back the Mario brush that I was using for foundation earlier and just tap out the concealer and leave my under eyes for last so it can sit a little bit. And then flipping it over and taking that smaller end of the brush, I'm going to start tapping out the perimeter of that concealer. I'm kind of just blending it in with the blush so that there is a nice transition between my blush and my concealer. Zoomed you guys in a little bit so you can see a little bit better. I'm going in with my BK Beauty flat paw brush and just pulling that concealer a little bit higher to the unders of my eyes. I don't want too much concealer up there because I will add a brightening shade once I'm done. I feel like I need to fix the tone of my camera because I look very, very flat on camera, but in person it is not like this. For my brightening concealer, I'm going in with the shade number 8. Now I do use these concealers all the time. Now the brighter shade, I'm concentrating it and trying to keep it where I placed it. Okay, the next part is where a lot of people tend to mess up. It's the powder portion. I know a lot of people only put powder, like the smallest amount of powder on their under eyes, but I need to set my face. I cannot go outside with a damp face. There's nothing wrong with the people who do. It's just my preference. I just can't. The feeling, it just, make sure that you pat off the excess powder. It's gonna look like this. Very even layer, very light. If you have to, make that weird face to get underneath your eyes so you can set properly. I just press it into my skin as much as possible. It's gonna feel like you're adding a lot of powder because you're gonna have to continuously go in and load up your brush and then pat it off again, but you're actually not. That is how I set my under eyes to just look very blurred and smooth. And then I will take that same powder puff and do the same thing to my face, but only to like the center of my face. To set the rest of my face, taking this Patrick Ta for contour brush, this is the number 2, and this fluffy side, I'm just going to dip it, pat off the excess, and then tap over the rest of my face. Now, you don't actually need a lot of powder for this. I literally used what little bit was left in my lid, and I haven't added any more since that first time I added powder. This is what the skin is looking like. It is set, but it's not super, super like matte looking, which is nice because once we add the rest of our makeup and do our setting sprays and everything, I'm gonna have like a nice natural flush that I prefer for my everyday. Now, a lot of people might think this is a lot for everyday makeup, but when I mean everyday, I mean this is my go-to when I need to go somewhere and I need to smack on some makeup. Not like I'm putting it on every single day. Next is bronzer. I'm taking this Say Big Fluffy brush and this Fenty powder bronzer in the shade Caramel Cutie. If you have an olive undertone and you're around my shade or a little bit lighter, this will be your perfect bronzer shade. It won't come out orange, it won't come out gray. It's the best one I've found so far. There are a couple others that I do enjoy as well. This is just my go-to. I know it won't mess up my makeup. And then just to give a little bit of that sheen back, I'm going in with the Say bronzer in the shade in Portofino, and it gives just back a natural glow. This does have very fine shimmer to it, so it doesn't look like you have glitter on your face, but it just gives you a nice radiant. Taking the shade Desert Rose from MAC, this is from the new formula that they just put out. This is also a new shade. It wasn't a returning shade from before, and I'm dusting this on my cheeks. Again, this is everyday makeup. I don't want to do too much on my face, especially if I'm adding some darkness to my eyes. Now that that is done, I'm moving on to my eyebrows. It's taken me a long time to get to where I'm at with my brows. I went through a ton of phases, trying out different things, seeing what works for me. Tried the laminated brow look, did not work for me. Absolutely hated it. It looked horrendous. Mainly because my eyebrow hairs are so stubborn and they curl at the base. Literally took me like 20 seconds to do that. That's it. It used to take me 15 minutes to do my brows. Now it takes me like 1 minute. Very proud of myself. It's been a journey to say the least. Before I do my eyeshadow and my eyes, I like to set my face. So we're gonna do that. Going in with the One Size Powder Melt. I've used and abused this. This is so good. I like to partially dry that before I go in with my next one, just so that they mesh very well together and I'm not just layering them, I'm mixing them, if that makes sense. This is the Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Liquid Blurring Balm, excuse me. Don't breathe it in. Even though the Danessa Myricks is a mattifying and blurring spray, it doesn't lose that shine that the Powder Melt one gives me. Now for the eyes, I do have some darkness on my eyelids, and I like to kind of play into that a little bit. Use what you have, you know? So I'm just going to enhance it with this MAC Multi-Sculpt liquid eyeshadow, and just taking my finger and dragging it across my lid and blending it in. And then I'm going to take these MAC eyeshadows, and I'm taking the shade Cork and tapping it on top. That is it for eyeshadow. Now I'm going to do eyeliner. This is the MAC Feline eyeliner. You can't see because it's coming off. I've had it for so long and it lasts forever. First, I'm going to tightline the upper line just because that's a little more tedious and I like to get it out the way. And then I'm going to do my waterline and then just a smidge on the outer part. Now, I will sometimes take a brush, but majority of the time I take my finger and just lightly buff it out. Next is going to be my mascara. I prefer the mini sizes just because I feel like you can't have mascara for too long, otherwise it gets all nasty. Going with the Charlotte Tilbury Exaggerize. First, I do love to mix mascaras. I think it just makes, specific mascaras just enhance each other. And for me, these two is a great combo. One of the last things I do literally all the time, every single time I do my makeup, is add beauty marks. I just think it's so cute. And I always add them in the same spot. I'm gonna do my lips, then I'm gonna come right back and show you guys the finished product. Okay, that is it for my go-to everyday base routine. I look a little bit more put together today just because my hair is different and I'm wearing this jewelry, but typically I will wear this face all the time. Styling can do a lot for your makeup, make it look a lot more glam than it actually is. I really do, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that you guys can have some fun playing with your makeup a little bit and different ways to use it. And I hope that my advice with your discoloration helps you in any way. And yeah, I really, guys, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys like makeup tutorials, please let me know down below. I'll do a lot more. I really love doing my makeup and I enjoy talking about makeup. Like and subscribe and just show me that you really enjoy listening to me blab about makeup.